Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Vanessa. This is Nessa CX Beauty, and today we are going to be applying and doing a wear test with the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. This is the one that I got. I got the shade 240W, but there are 48 shades. Let that sink in. Yeah. Now, you do get 1 fluid ounce of foundation for $29, so it is pretty comparable to other foundations at Sephora. It is a doe foot applicator foundation instead of a pump, so that's one thing to note. And some claims about this foundation are that it's 1, weightless, so you won't feel it like caking or on your skin too much, and then 2, that it's medium to buildable full coverage, so we shall see about that coverage part. It does not have a claim for longevity, but that's what we're going to test today. I'm going to try to have this foundation on for 12 hours, so we'll see about that. But if you're interested in seeing how this foundation performs on my dry combo skin type, just continue watching. Okay, so I have already toned and moisturized my face. We're gonna go in with my favorite primer. This is my Too Faced Primed and Poreless Plus primer, and I'm just gonna be putting this all over my face. And then obviously we're gonna shake this up because that little ball tells us to shake it. And we're gonna just plop this all over the face. Okay, for my right side, we're going to be going in with my Makeup Eraser Beauty Sponge, and we're just going to tap that in to see how the coverage is with a beauty sponge. This is the beauty sponge that I've been using recently. This does seem a little yellow for me in the camera, but trust me, it does blend into my neck very nicely in person. I'm like staring into the camera just to make sure. But like in my viewfinder, it looks a little bit yellow, but that is not the case in person. Okay, the coverage is definitely looking medium. You do see a little bit of my hyperpigmentation around my cheek, but that is normal for foundations that aren't full coverage. But it honestly feels like I'm tapping nothing into my face. It feels like I'm just tapping a wet sponge. Like there's nothing in between my skin and my sponge, which is very, very weird. Okay, so that is the sponge side. For my brush side, I'm going to be using the Luxie Airbrush foundation brush. This is the only brush I trust with my foundation. And that's just because it's really densely packed. Oh no. This is weird. The brush is absorbing all of the foundation. And it usually doesn't absorb foundation. That is interesting. It took all of my foundation off of my face. It literally, y'all saw that? There's no foundation on my face. Oh no. What was that? Alright, we're gonna try again. This time I'm gonna be trying my Luxie Round Top Blending Foundation brush. That one is actually doing the job. Wow, that was such an interesting experience. But this one is definitely performing very nicely. I almost prefer this side over the Beauty Blender side because it looks more, you know, smooth. That is pretty with this brush. I don't know what happened with the other brush, but We fixing it. We fixing it. So this is the blender sponge. And then this is the brush side. Do not mind this right here. It's a pimple that I popped. I'm not trying to cover it too much. But I definitely like the brush side better at this point, not gonna lie. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish up the rest of my face off of camera, and then we're gonna come back for time of completion, and then we're gonna go into this 12-hour wear test. So I will be right back. Alright y'all, so we are back and the face is beat. I did not apply my lippy because I did pick up a lip cream from Rare Beauty in Brave as well. So I can try this on camera with y'all. And that is Brave on my lips. But makeup completion is 1:22 p.m. So I'm going to try to keep this on until 1:30 a.m. I will be up. I'm up usually by until like 2 a.m. So I think we're good. But we're going to do the final zoom. I do have some opinions. This is the side with the brush, and this is the side with the beauty blender. My issue is with my forehead. Everything looks good on the bottom. On my cheeks, on my chin, it looks good. My nose looks really good. But as soon as we get to the forehead, my forehead looks so dry. Specifically in this area right here, it looks terrible. So that is one thing to note thus far going into this wear test. But I will show you guys how it looks in natural light, and then I will come in for my final check-in. So if you're interested in seeing how this performs throughout the day, you know what to do. So this is how we are looking in natural lighting. Okay y'all, so I've had this foundation on for way longer than anticipated. Right now it is 3:42 a.m. I wanted to have it on until like 1:30, but we're gonna zoom in nonetheless. 13 hours later, 14 hours later. Oh, I went to Central Park. I went to Sephora to buy skincare for my cousin for her birthday. We went out to eat. My face has gone through a lot today, but here she is. I did also want to show you all the inside of my mask and how much makeup it did take away from me throughout the day. So as you can see, on my chin and my nose, the foundation is removed. But that's just consistent with the chin and the nose removal from my mask. But my cheeks are still looking pretty nice. My bronzer and a little bit of my blush and my highlight is still intact. My eyeshadow is completely gone. but this is not an eyeshadow thing. And my eyeliner looking a little wonky, but the foundation doesn't look terrible. Like, my face does not look terrible. It just looks a little shiny in the areas where the foundation was removed. In terms of my forehead, it did start looking better in the middle of the day. Like, some of the dryness like went away, but as we can see right here and right here, it does look a little bit patchy and a little bit dry, but not as dry as this morning. It looks like the oils that came to bay from my face, my natural oils, tried to fix that up a little bit. It looks a little bit better, but like, I have no foundation throughout here. This is my little forehead spot. The rest of my forehead looks pretty good, and I'm not an oily person despite what's happening here. I would say my face looks good, but we're about to remove it and see how much of the foundation is actually left. By the way, I returned my one size makeup wipes and bought my store brand $5 wipes. Oh, and the lip, it stained my lip. It's like this nice little, like, very light pink now, and I appreciate it. It doesn't look bad. It's not orange anymore, but the lip isn't completely removed. It's like a lip stain. Okay. And then the last part of my forehead. Alright, so we did have some foundation left on the skin, just to show you guys that not all of it was removed, but the nose and the chin definitely were removed. And as for my forehead, I'm not sure if my forehead's just like drier than the rest of my face, or if the foundation has anything to do with what happened with my forehead. But I know a lot of people started feeling weird around the nose in terms of dryness, but for me it was like this little patch of my forehead. Let me know your experience with this foundation. I actually think it's not terrible for my face to be 14 hours in makeup. I should have looked like an oily, hideous monster like most of my foundations, but this one actually, I look pretty natural. And this goes to show that I still did have foundation on, so it didn't look bad. It just clung on to the really dry areas, or I don't know what's up with my forehead. And of course it was removed by my mask. So again, this foundation does not have any claims in terms of longevity, so do what you will with that information. In terms of lasting through my 9 to 5, I definitely trust this foundation to last through my 9 to 5, plus the commute, plus if I wanted to eat a little bit after the commute, I do trust it with that. It gets that stamp of approval. And I know this video isn't about the liquid lip, but the liquid lip actually is pretty dope too. Throughout the day, it does kind of like fade into your skin, like it feels like it's a part of your lip, and then as you continue eating and drinking and talking throughout the day, it starts, you know, like any lip, getting away, but then it fades into this really nice color. But yeah, when the sale comes around, I'll probably get some of the darker shades of this. I just really wanted to try this one because it was a really, you know, original and unique shade, and I think it actually looks really, really good on me. And oranges don't really look that great on me most of the time, so Brave gets my stamp of approval as well. Some cons: the doe foot applicator, not a big fan of it, and the fact that it's so watery. I don't know if other people have this problem, but since I've had this for like 3 days now, when I close it, some of the time like water or oil comes out of here, and then I have to like clean the sides of it. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue in the future, but that is something to take note of since the foundation is so watery. and it just like, I guess, separates, and then like when I do close it in, some of it does get like released through the sides of this, so I don't like that too much. I do wish there was a pump on it. In addition, if you are a dry skin person, this might not be the best option for you in terms of foundation, just because it did cling onto my forehead and it has been clinging onto other people's noses. So I would, you know, look out for that as well. If you have a lot of dry patches, this might not be the foundation for you. And another thing, I did use a lot of foundation today and I got it at a good medium coverage, but I am a full coverage person, so I do like foundations like the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and the Becca Full Coverage Foundation. This one definitely didn't have that much, you know, coverage, and I did use a lot of it. So that is something to note. My hyperpigmentation definitely stood out, protruding through the foundation, and I don't really necessarily care about that too much, but that is something to note as well if you do like full coverage foundations. And yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about with this foundation. 14 hours later, I think it's an okay foundation. Guys, update. I just washed my face and I'm breaking out. This was not here this morning. This was not here this morning. This was not here this morning. And right here, this was not, this wasn't. So do what you will with that information, and I'm done. But have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.